How's it going? I'm Brian from I1 Tesla. Today, we're going to be talking about autopilot. So I did a video quite a few months back about how to use autopilot the correct way and to really get the most out of autopilot. Well, with thousands of people getting their Teslas, their Model 3s over the weekend, I feel like Tesla doesn't do a great job of telling you when to use it, how to use it, what you should be doing. I'm going to talk about what I do for autopilot. This is just what I do. I'm pretty safe with autopilot. I do test it quite a bit, and I kind of push it to its limits, but I understand autopilot quite a bit. I have 8,800 miles on my car, and probably, I want to say 5,000 of those are probably autopilot, maybe even more. Probably 6,000 are autopilot. I use it all the time. On roads you're not supposed to use it for, or it's not designed for yet. Maybe version 9 it's going to be better, but this is still version 8, software update 36.2. Version 9 should be out any minute. It should be out this week. Some people I think are getting it already now. Today's Tuesday. I wish I would get it, but I don't have it yet. But autopilot is going to be very similar. It's gonna have the same rules. First thing is, I'm right by that road I always tested on. There's a car that's kind of off the road a little bit, but I'd like to see what the car actually does. Now, this road is not designed for autopilot yet. It's a very windy road. There's a lot of hills. I'm going to set a camera up on the fender to see how close we actually get to the car. I'm going to be paying attention, also videotaping. But again, like I said, I push my car to the limits to show you guys what to do, what not to do, and let's kind of go from there. But I'm gonna set the camera up and we're gonna go. So once we get going on the road, I'm gonna I've done this road at 30 miles an hour. Actually, I've done it on 35. I just haven't filmed it. The car does slow down for all the turns. I'm actually going to, since I'm kind of nervous about this because the car's not really off the road all the way, I'm gonna set it at 20 because I know it'll handle it just fine. Let's do 25. Let's live a little dangerously. Now, as you see, there's a couple cars here. It's going to be on the right side of the road where the vehicle's off the road. You can see over here. Now, it is not designed for this. Oh, that was really close. I had to take over because that was going to be right on the line. It's not quite designed yet for these kind of residential roads here. It's more designed for the highway, and that's where you should use it, or bigger roads where there's not so many turns. Yes, it will do this eventually, but right now, as you see, I'm paying attention. I don't have my hands on the wheel because we're going slow, but you'll see how close it's getting on the camera over there. It does very, very good, but it's not great where you can trust it 100% of the time. That's the whole key. Use it, understand it, and then understand when to take over. But I do want to show you a couple cool things that autopilot does. First of all, a quick tip: you don't have to push the stalk all the way down. You don't have to go all the way down to get it in autopilot. All you have to do, down just a little bit, and it goes in autopilot just fine. So now you can see we're going 50 miles an hour. I've got my hand on the wheel, watching just in case, but this turn right here, watch it slow down. The car will actually slow down for this turn by itself. I'm not doing that. The car is actually making this turn. It's actually slowing down itself so it can safely make this turn. And that's all done with GPS. It actually saw that car cut across from us, and it thought the car was going to stay there, so it applied the brakes really hard there. A little harder than I would have. I probably would not have stopped at all. That's the difference between a human driver and a computer driver. It doesn't understand those things. It can't make those decisions that we know that car is going to go across. We know it's not going to stop there. It's cutting across to make that turn. But the computer doesn't understand that quite yet. It will. The car will understand it eventually, but right now it doesn't do that, so it just jams on the brakes. And if you're not paying attention, you're kind of shocked at first, you know? You should be paying attention all the time for those reasons. And again, this is not a road yet that autopilot is supposed to be used on, but it still works. Coming up, this is the main reason why it's not really designed for this type of road. You see there's quite a bit of congestion going on here. It doesn't know what to do. It's very, very confused. It doesn't see any lines. I actually had to take over there, and it's not going to stop for this light, so I have to actually put the brake on. So autopilot does not see lights at all. It doesn't see stoplights, it doesn't see stop signs, it doesn't see caution lights, anything like that. It does see stuff in the road like cardboard boxes in the shape of humans or robots. I really think it's going to be a long time before a fully autonomous driving comes out because of these kind of situations like this. There's many situations where the car doesn't know what to do. It's just so much better on the highway. And that's really where you should use it. You should play with it on the side roads, but you should really use it on the highway. So on the highway, like I said before, is what autopilot is for. You do still have to keep your hand on the wheel and pay attention the entire time. I put my hand on the wheel right here. I suggest resting it right here, not touching this, but resting it right here. That gives enough force this way, letting the car know that you're actually paying attention, that your hand is on the wheel, that you're still here. You haven't reclined the seat and you're not sleeping or anything. So you got your hand here, you're focused paying attention while the car's driving. No feet on the pedals, because the car is doing all the hard work for you. You don't have to do anything except for pay attention. You're basically a passenger at this point, but you're in control. You're always in control. You are always responsible for this car no matter what happens. If you hit somebody, it's your fault. If you hit a fire truck, it's your fault. If you hit something in the road, it's your fault. Because yes, the car can see stuff, but it's not going to see like a tire tread coming off a pickup truck or a semi, or something hits something and flies it up into your car. The car is not going to see that stuff. And yes, you see my hand off the wheel. I'm focused, I can see out here, but my hand can be off the wheel for a little bit of time. You've heard of the nags. The nag will happen every 30 seconds or so. Don't post in the comments exactly what the number is. That's why you keep your hand on the wheel. You can actually drive thousands of miles with your hand on the wheel and have no nags whatsoever. I've set up a camera here so you can see how I actually drive with this, how many times the nag actually pops up with my hand on the wheel, how many times I take my hand off the wheel, things like that. We're going to go loop back on the highway, back home, and in that process I'm also going to initiate a lane change so you can see how that works as well. So I just put it in autopilot. We are going a little fast. So I have it set to 75 miles an hour. I'm going to initiate a lane change. The car checks to see if anybody's there. And then it turns off the turn signal once we get all the way over there. You don't have to worry about the turn signal. The car does that automatically for you. It's keeping a safe distance away because I have it set to two car lengths away, and right now we're gonna sit behind this truck. I mean, you can see I can take my hand off once in a while. You can also see that these lines are here. Without those lines there, you won't be able to change lanes. So there's a semi on the side of the road here. We're gonna actually we're gonna move over a lane because that semi's there. Again, I'm not doing that. My hand's just resting on the wheel. We're going to turn back over. Now it won't take these small off ramps. You have to do that yourself, which is fine. You need to take over at these points. Now when you first get the car, autopilot is not going to be enabled. You have to enable that. There's a setting in there. It's a beta. That's why you have to do that. You do have to read over the agreement because again, you are in control. It is your fault if anything happens. They will tell you at the delivery center, but obviously it's going to be in the autopilot settings. And then right here is the autopilot, the lane change, and the summon feature. That is what you get with autopilot. And in version 9, there's going to be more. But for right now, that's what it is in version 8. But basically, autopilot, when you enable this, a menu will pop up for you to select accept, and you're accepting that you're responsible for the car. Again, those things will not be enabled from the factory. Even though you paid for them, you have to enable them. It's liability. If someone else enables them and something happens, you can sue and say you didn't actually do that. So that's why they are not on from the factory because they're still betas and you're opting into that beta. So that is my little overview of autopilot and how to use it, when to use it. But be careful out there. Be careful. There's a lot of new drivers driving Teslas, trying things out, using autopilot. A lot of people have some really fast cars now with the P3Ds. Be responsible, be safe. It is a very safe car, but we don't want to test those crash ratings. Let the highway safety people actually test those crash ratings. That just gives you peace of mind that if you do get in an accident, you're going to be safer than some other people. And actually with all the crumple zone, you're actually helping other people by absorbing some of the shock from them as well. We're helping out the people that hit us because Tesla cars don't hit people. I mean, unless you're a red fire truck, and not paying attention. And that's the other reason why I'm doing this video. For all those new drivers out there, we don't want to have another news event where someone gets in a crash and the first question they ask is, were you on autopilot? We don't want to have any bad press for Tesla. There's already enough. That's pretty much all they focus on is the bad from Tesla. So hopefully, eventually, the news can focus on the good because there's a ton of good to go off of. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you got something good out of this. And if you did, click the link below to sign up for my Patreon page. It helps out the channel. You guys are awesome that have already done that. I have quite a few patrons already. It helps me get out there to do more things, helps me able to buy more things, to help review things, new camera equipment, computer, new software, all that kind of stuff, going to events. I would just want to thank every one of you that's a patron and a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. If you saw all those people get the performance Model 3s, all-wheel drives, and all their Model 3s and S's, X's, if you want your own Tesla, you can place your order. But use my referral code. If you're going to get a Model S, Model X, or Performance, you get $100 towards supercharging. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay positive, everyone.